bummer. Okay.
No.
Meeting to order. Approval of the agenda. Can you get a motion for that?
I so approve.
I second it. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Minutes from the last meeting, did anybody have any changes or corrections, any of that?
I would move to approve the minutes from the previous meeting.
I would second.
Okay, all those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Introductions?
Okay, we were going to do introductions because we have a new board member, but she is not present.
Oh,
So that's why we put it on the list. It's Katie Olson, who we talked about last time. She's the Dakota Wesleyan Director of Resident Life. She's going to represent the volunteer program, but she is not here.
We don't need to introduce ourselves to each other. Next time.
I think we're good.
Okay, Transit 5339 funding.
So we got good news. I think I put this request in back in 2018. I requested these funds, and they finally got approved. So we are going to get bus cameras. Yay. So that way we'll have cameras inside the buses.
Oh,
good.
Yeah, so that'll help with
do they have like rear cameras too, where they can see where they're backing up?
no, we didn't get funding for that. We just got for the interior right now.
Okay,
Yeah, that was the first step. Hopefully, in the future, we can get that.
yeah.
And then we also got hardware, which is office computers, because we need some new office computers, and software, which is we're required to get every year, is our routing software. So that will be paid for through the grant instead of having to pay our funds for that.
Awesome.
And this is going to the city council meeting for approval to accept these awarded funds on Tuesday.
This coming Tuesday.
Yes.
Anything else on that? Okay. Saturday service.
Okay, so our last meeting, was it the last meeting we discussed? Avera put the request in for additional hours.
Or the one before that.
After we, the minutes for this one, right? Okay, so the board made the motion to leave the services as is, and we'll put it in the budget request for the next fiscal year. We'll still do that, but in the meantime, I was contacted by Avera. They would really like to do this because of the need for dialysis, which we've talked about in the past, and they are willing to pick up the cost to operate earlier on Saturday mornings.
It's a fair way to do it.
I sent them the information of how much it would cost, and it would have to be based on how many passengers, the mileage, and this and that, and I did a spreadsheet deduction thing of the scenarios, and we would have to bill them monthly as to, they had this many passengers, this is how much extra it costs at the non-federal rate. I gave it to our city attorney, Justin Johnson. He's going to write up an agreement, and we're going to start doing that. But I just want to give you all a heads up that Avera gave us
Even
the
though
word.
we didn't vote for it. It's
Right.
happening.
Are they required to have a minimum then?
That's all part of the agreement. They have to have so many passengers. If there's passengers that don't show, then they have to pay this amount. If the passengers do show, it's this amount. That's why we would bill them monthly according to
Very good.
what our loss would be.
And do they think that that would increase as time goes by, where
Like
they
next,
would have more and more? Like, do you know what the cutoff is for, like, breaking even, how many rides you would need?
Yep, we have that figured out in the cost.
Okay,
So if Firersville has 5 people that ride versus the 3, Avera's cost would be less.
yeah, okay.
So now whenever we go into, if we agree to start this through our funding, will that open it up to anybody else during that time, or is that only the dialysis people?
This will actually open it up to everybody, period,
Everybody,
because we're
right.
operating. We can't, otherwise,
This will actually.
this will open it up, because if we did it just for Avera, then we're breaking federal charter rules. Avera is just agreeing to guarantee that this right is going to happen. They're willing to pay for the loss,
Good.
or loss of revenue.
Do you know approximately how many people this will impact as far as the dialysis?
3. It'll be 3. Well, overall, I don't know how many it would impact because it's just 3 people that are currently getting it. This will allow more people to
Yeah,
join because
that's
then
what
they
I
can
was
spread out
wondering.
the time. Yeah.
It also might impact other community members since you will
Correct.
be operating.
Is this for Saturday only?
This
then,
is
or
Saturday
Sunday?
early mornings, an extra hour and a half on Saturday morning. So technically, we don't have to have board approval because they're going to pay the agree. Yep.
Not doing anything.
And I checked with the city attorney and mayor and city administrator, and they said as long as they're willing to pick up the cost, it's all we need.
That'll be good for everybody then.
Yes.
Could come in a little earlier than we thought.
Right.
Okay.
And honestly, if they have their 3 people ride, the loss will be $23.36. So it's not terrible every Saturday, and that's why Avera said that. Because a dialysis chair costs thousands upon thousands of dollars to add chairs, this is a lot cheaper route for them to
Yes.
go with,
Yeah.
instead of installing another chair.
Anything else on that? Transit legislation.
So House Bill 1183 has been introduced, and on Tuesday, it goes to the House Transportation Committee. What that is adding $2 onto your driver's license fee. So when you renew your driver's license, it will cost you an extra $2. It'll be $30 instead of $28 to renew your driver's license. And that money will go to public transportation to help offset some of the costs that we're not getting from the states. Our state funds are really low compared to what our federal and local shares are. So we put that, our lobbyists worked on putting that bill together. Our primary sponsor is Roger Chase from Huron, People's Transit. He's our primary sponsor. And then we have all 3 of our representation, Lance Coates, Paul Muskimmons, and Josh Combs. All 3 of them supported the bill as well. And we had transit day at the legislature where we gave out cookies, and they all came and got their cookies. And then we also had an event that night, and we talked about what the bill will do, and all 3 of them came to that event as well, and they fully support public transit. And they had great stories, too, about how Lance Cost talked about how his dad rode this summer, how it was important for his dad, and then Dr. Muskimmons talked about how it helped his dental practice, patients get to and from his dental practice, and Josh Klum knows that his wife as a teacher, her students utilize the transit, so it was nice hearing their testimony as well and how positive transit is to our community.
New buses.
We got 2 new buses. They arrived a couple weeks ago, 2 or 3 weeks ago. They are the front load buses, and we're going to replace 2 of them that are met their useful life, so they will be out of service, and we're getting these 2 new ones up and ready for service. They're nice size because the back seats, instead of having 2 separate sets of seats, 4 seats, there's one in the middle, so they're all in the back, which will be nice.
And you said it's the front load?
A front load for wheelchair.
And they're how long? No?
They're shorter than our other ones. They are 16 passenger buses, I believe, but the C2 wheelchairs as well. Mhm.
How long will it be till they get to start using them?
Hopefully by the end of the month. Hopefully we're getting the paperwork and everything done, yeah.
Okay. Health and Living Show.
So it's coming up in April. We have, I believe, 6 people signed up so far to be vendors at the show, and we've had 2 people sponsor meals, so it's $400 in free meals that we can provide to those that are coming to the event. Yes?
She was asking me about it the other day, and I said, she's asking, yeah, I told you, yes, we need to do that. Abel and I will go with you.
It was a really good event last year. We
It
had
really was.
very positive feedback, and we also have our office assistant. She will be contacting people too and doing follow-ups to get people signed up. And we have presentations, well, at least one presentation lined up. Dakota Physical Therapy is going to talk about their home health programming and the silver sneakers and the things that can help with your home health and keep it moving. So we've got one presentation. We're only going to do 2 this year because we shortened it. Because last year we went 9 to 3. We did 3 presentations. We're just going to do 9 to 2 this year because it kind of died off in the afternoon. And we're just going to do 2 presentations.
What's
do-
the date of that?
April 23rd.
helpline?
As you can see at your spots, there's 211 helpline posters and cards. 211 helpline is new to the area. It just got launched on February 11th, 211 in Davidson County. They are trying to make it statewide, and I know there's a bill in the state legislature this year to try to make it funded statewide. But Davidson County, City of Mitchell, and United Way, and Central Electric, and I think there's other people that all sponsored to get 211 here. And what it is your one-stop shop calling for any information you need for the community. It's a community resource directory for, you need help with
Food or?
food, clothing, the flood disaster. If you had
How do
to
you
sleep,
set up with food stamps? I mean, just about anything you can think of, you can call them.
they answer all your questions and help you get what you need. Instead of trying to call these 10 different places, trying to figure out where to go, what to do, they'll give you the information that you need.
They also have suicide. They're all trained in suicide prevention so that people call in and they get help through them too.
Yeah, we went to that presentation, were you there?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
there.
Well, us 3
Yeah.
went to that day.
They also, we entered all of our information on, that's why I put on the agenda. We entered all of our information for our program onto their website as well. So that way they know people can contact us about the foods, the volunteer, the transit, all that is also entered on there, so they have that information as well. We entered, actually, different city departments all entered all the city information.
They've already gone there for helping.
And it's really super easy to enter. If you need instructions, I can help you.
I'm excited for it. Our MANA group has been working on trying to get that going for years, so. Yep.
It's really fantastic. Man's worked forever trying to get a resource directory, and this is your resource directory.
And it has somebody to sit there and do it and update it, whereas we were trying to, kind of keep it updated with the disasters.
Well, and us in general, we get a lot of calls on just random stuff. Anything and everything we get the phone calls for. So now we can refer them, call 201, they'll give you the information, because we're struggling trying to figure out, well, no, we don't do that, we don't. With Social Security, people call us about Social Security. We haven't had it since 2012. Yeah, it's not long since we've done that, so that information will all be within 211, but we get calls all the time on different resources. So we're excited.
Yeah.
We are.
We even daycare, they have a daycare resource directory, and
Oh, that's great.
Wow, pretty much anything.
because
you can think of.
when I moved here, there was no, I was familiar with 211 because I had it where I lived, but there was no 211 here, so I didn't know who to ask for daycare. I called Palace Transit before I even moved here, before I knew I was going to start here, and I'm like, well, the transit knows who the daycares are.
Yeah.
So one day answered the call, she gave me the information I needed, and I got my kid into daycare. I mean, transit is our kind of our go-to for resources.
New employees.
Well, good news, we have 2 new custodial employees. They're part-time under our supervision. Tom is our part-time custodian hired through the city, and he started yesterday. And then we also have Ben, who is a Career Connections employee, and that is funded through the state. So he comes twice a week for 2 hours each day. Super excited.
Who is that?
Ben Coco.
Yeah,
Yeah.
must be from Life West.
Yep. Yeah. He-
Awesome.
He moved here, he just graduated high school, and he's going to school at Dakota Wesleyan.
Okay.
Super excited.
Well,
He's,
thank you for working with
oh,
him.
he's fantastic. He has a great smile and.
Yeah,
And you
That's
don't,
good.
you don't forget your name.
No, he's
that's
very,
awesome.
Yeah, once you use it, you don't forget.
and he's a good worker too. He does a great job of Jill
No,
is working with him and she follows him, but I have a checklist for him of things to do and he follows his checklist and he picked up really fast. So he comes to Thursdays and Fridays from 1:30 to 3:30.
I'm sure that's very helpful to have that help.
It really is. And he's very thorough. Yeah, we're happy to have him. And we're still trying to get part-time bus drivers for interviewing and doing background checks, so we're working on that. Because I drive again today.
You are driving today?
Today I will, yeah, this afternoon.
Really?
Oh, I've been driving a lot. Haven't I, Amy?
I don't ever see you at LifeQuest.
Oh, I was there 3 times on Monday, or Tuesday.
Oh, okay, well, stop
You need to
in.
look out your window.
You're working too hard.
Yeah.
I'm usually not outside, but
Yeah.
sometimes when I'm leaving, I see who the driver is. Wow,
She brings our lunches every once in a while too. That
Yeah.
hasn't been for a while
No.
at least. We got that one kind of straightened out.
The multi-purpose cell.
Yeah.
so do you have ads for those positions, like on Indeed or whatever?
The city does the newspaper, online, the city website, and Facebook. Indeed, they have not done yet. They haven't
Yeah,
done that
we,
yet.
we have pretty much went 100% to that, because that's the only way we can get people.
Right.
So, I mean, it might be a suggestion. Would you, do
Billy
you know
looked
what
into
those positions pay?
The bus drivers
Yeah,
start,
the part-time,
start at $17.94.
okay. I would think you could get people.
You would think. We had 5 interviews that were no-shows.
Oh my.
Yeah, well, we get that every day.
Yeah.
It's
I
unbelievable.
mean, they lined up the interview and everything with me on the phone and didn't show up. Then we had a offer for a part-time and they never called back after we offered them the job. They even called back saying, nah, I don't want it.
Yeah, no, that's the way of the world.
It is. I know my daughter's a supervisor at Port of Entry in Wyoming. They just have hands out for help. They do. So they come, they want to start out like
Yeah.
thousands of dollars. And it says when they post the job, how much they pay. Well, they still come, waste their time, you know.
Yep.
And they, yeah. Circus.
So,
Is like 20-hour positions, or what do you, probably anything, huh?
honestly, it is anything. That's what we tell them. We have one driver who works once a month. We have one driver that works twice a week. We have one that works just the weekends. We have one that works just some evenings. We have one that works almost 40 hours a week. And then he farms and doesn't work, but.
So you work with their schedule.
Right.
For instance, if it's someone that has a 8 to 5 job,
Mhm.
you could, okay. I'll try to
Is
think of.
there a special license involved?
You have to get your CDL, but we help
CDL.
get that.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You help pay for that?
Yep.
My husband. Okay. So, employees, right?
Yep.
Citizens input. I do not see anybody here. Okay. Department reports and updates. Alice Transit.
Well, ridership is up and so is mileage. Why it costs so much. Being short of employees, we've had to pay for a lot of overtime in our full-time, so our budget's not doing so hot right now. But we're getting people to and from. That's why I'm out there.
That. Mitchell Volunteer Program.
So this is where we're at, kind of some of our programs, or some of the things volunteers have done for the month. So I'm still hoping to get a software program for our volunteer numbers.
Desiree's working with it too.
I'm calling a lot of it off on Desiree now.
Desiree doesn't like it either. Nice to have her, isn't it?
Adult nutrition?
That is our meal for January, where we're at. To our projections and to last year. We're not too far off from last year, so we're almost on track. Not even hungry, but not bad though.
James Valley Community Center.
The biggest news from the James Valley Community Center is they reached their fundraising goal for the sound system.
Oh, yay! That's good news.
So actually, today, after this meeting, we're going to meet with Mid-States Audio, and they're going to come go through our building again, make sure that everything we had in the quotes is good, and we can get moving.
We don't know how to act.
Yeah, I know. You'll be able to hear.
You could have Louise test that.
Yeah.
Testing, testing.
Yes,
You could sing a solo.
You could do that, sing a solo.
Oh, and run everybody off. We're trying to get people.
Yeah. We get a lot of new customers.
I was wondering what's going on, sure.
And so speaking of, they've also, at the end of your report, I believe, yes, it says they've had 20 new members since the beginning of 2020, so they're doing good on their membership as well.
Yes.
20 new.
So now my girl, like when Hallie turns 18 in July, she can sign up for that.
Yep.
Right?
She can be a member or even a volunteer for.
And we've had people coming in on bingo days in the evening and dance nights in the evening and come in to play ping pong. And during dances, we also have a group that play cards that are talking about coming in and playing cards on dance nights, so that way they can play in the evenings as well. So that way our facility will be used in the evenings.
Because I know there used to be a few different groups that played cards like up to Sandy Horners, and so now they have nowhere to go.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
They would start coming down if we're open.
Yep.
Anything else? Next meeting date?
Some reason I
I think
think,
it's March 12th.
but then we canceled, no, not.
Yeah, you said you might not be around on March.
Oh, that's right. That's right. So is it okay if we skip a month?
Anything coming up, do we?
I don't have anything on my agenda. Is it okay if we skip and go to April?
As long as it's kosher.
Yeah.
Do we need a
I don't
motion?
know, do,
Yeah, we don't, nope,
or
we
do
don't,
we have bylaws that say we have to be monthly?
we don't have any bylaws anymore.
We missed
So
before.
then it's fine.
Yep,
So then it would be
So April
April
9th.
9th?
I hope it's warmer by then.
It will be.
we're gonna have a snowstorm
It'll be
next
warmer
week.
than today.
Say that.
April was,
It's around my husband's birthday, always storms on my husband's birthday.
really,
April 11th is his birthday.
Oh, so we can blame him, not you.
Yeah.
Okay.
it was a storm.
Right.
Motion to adjourn?
I make a motion that
You?
we adjourn.
I'll second.